skipping your opponent's entire turn. That's crazy. Like something that would only happen in Master Duel, right? Right? You're not saying right. It happens in the TCG, doesn't it? What's going on with your big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day is going phenomenal, but if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. Speaking of such, it is Workout Wednesday, a time where we talk about health and fitness to either get you on your weight loss journey or propel you along your journey. This will be really quick since we have a really saucy video to talk about. One of the best ways to get into or to stay in shape is cardiovascular activity. Now, it doesn't matter if you're running, walking, jogging, biking, it does not matter. As long as you're getting in a determined amount of distance, you're doing fine. I actually tend to do about 5 miles per day, at least 5 miles per day, but I'm starting to feel that that isn't enough. So of course, the most logical version of me decided to do the thing that was necessary to get me to do more steps. I decided to take more. I bought a dog. Yep, that's right. I got a dog. I mean, come on, let's face it. The most logical thing would have been just take more steps, right? Forehead. But buying a dog sounds so TheCaliEffect, right? Now, unfortunately, right now, you're not going to be seeing Saber inside of my office. I got to get her accustomed to Madara. You know, this dog-cat situation is a little tricky. I would love to say that my dog is big enough to bully my cat, but I'm pretty confident Madara will punk the living daylights out of Saber. I mean, Saber from Fate Stay versus Madara from Naruto, but I'm getting beside myself. One thing that we do need to talk about is this punk strategy. Boy, this is easily one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Currently, the punk strategy has a 1.5.5 combo. I'll explain that a little bit. That actually allows you to skip your opponent's turn. The Dimension 4 set introduced No Punk Deer Note, which brings the entire strategy together. It also helps to have Therions on your side, being able to summon Therion King Regulus to prevent your opponent from using critical hand traps at very important junctures to prevent you from doing this combo. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some amazing combos from the punk strategy because yes, it is the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's go ahead and jump on. Oh, that is not what I needed to see. So jumping on into the combo, this is a 1.5 card combo. And the reason why I say this is because at the very worst, it's going to require no Punk Foxy Tune or any way to get into your Punk engine plus 2 additional cards. But typically, you're going to only be using no Punk Foxy Tune and 1 additional card to make this full combo and allow me to explain throughout the combo. Of course, in this particular situation, I'm going to activate No Punk Foxy Tune, and if my opponent doesn't have an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, I will only discard the No Punk Foxy Tune, which I thought was really cool. But on resolution, I will discard an additional card from my hand to be able to special summon No Punk Z Almond to my side of the field. This card is actually amazing as it allows me to pay 600 life points to be able to add a Punk card from my deck to my hand. My target this time around is going to be the No Punk Ogre Dance. With the No Punk Ogre Dance, I'll go ahead and activate its effect. It will allow me to search 1 non-level 8 No Punk monster from my deck to my hand. My Punk monster, I'm actually going to add the Shirikusa from my deck to my hand. You guys know I am terrible with names, so I completely apologize if I'm butchering it. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon the Shirikusa to my side of the field and then activate its effect, allowing me to fusion summon by using both of my Punk monsters on my side of the field. I'm going to go ahead and fusion summon into the Carp Rising. Now, I actually talked in the meta counter guide that if you wanted to stop this particular deck, you might want to stop the Carp Rising when your opponent decides to fusion summon. That is still 100% your best bet, but that isn't always possible. As you guys have noticed, I have not used my normal summon, so Wandering Griffin Rider is definitely a card that I can use alongside the Adventure Token engine, and because this deck is so flexible, I can summon Therion King Regulus to my side of the field, preventing my opponent from stopping this particular point of action. So it's not necessarily a weak point of interaction. I'm then going to go ahead and activate my Z Almond just because I can, giving my Carp Rising some attack, and then I'll activate my effect of my Carp Rising, tributing itself from the deck to be able to special summon No Punk Deer Note and another Z-Almond to my side of the field. Now, what exactly did I do? I did a lot to just summon 2 monsters to my side of the field, but I'm going to be making one of the most deadliest monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Synchro summoning with my Z-Almond and Deer Note into the Chaotic Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. Now, here is where a little bit of luck comes into it. Not really. Chaotic Ruler is a really powerful card that allows me to excavate the top 5 cards from my deck and add a light or dark monster to my hand. If I'm actually able to resolve the effect of Chaotic Ruler, I don't need an additional card in my hand to discard, because I'll just discard the card I added off of Chaotic Ruler, making this a 1.5 combo. But seeing that that isn't always possible, I'm not going to use the effect of Chaotic Ruler. I'm just going to use the effect of No Punk Deer Note to be able to special summon a tuner monster back to my side of the field, which is going to be the Sea-Almond. From here, I'll be able to synchro summon into, or linkro summon as I'd like to say, into my Kriston Hockley Fabrics, using its effect to be able to special summon a tuner monster to my side of the field. And to be honest, the more and more I think about it, this particular tuner card should not exist, as I'm going to use its effect to be able to special summon Jet Synchron, the new card off of the Forbidden list, to my side of the field. And then I'm going to use Chaotic Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. Now you guys are probably figuring out why I did all of that, banishing a No Punk Ogre Dance and a Foxy Tune. That's the light and dark monster that I needed to be able to special summon itself to the side of the field, using them both for a synchro summon into a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then the effect of Jet Synchron to discard the last card in my hand. It could be an additional card or a card that I added to my hand off of the Chaotic Ruler to summon itself to the side of the field. That's it, guys. That's all I needed to do. Game over. My opponent cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I got the strongest, most badass Synchro 9 on the field. That's not it, is it? So the most dangerous thing about this particular situation is that Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss is a disruption on its own. During my opponent's main phase, I'm actually going to activate the effect of Kriston Hockley Fabrics, banishing itself to be able to special summon Formula Synchron to my side of the field, and then I'll activate the effect of Formula Synchron to be able to draw a card, and then the effect to Synchro Summon. I have a tuner monster on my side of the field, or 2 tuner monsters on my side of the field, and a level 9 monster. I can turn my Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, using 2 tuners and 1 non-tuner. Basically what this card does is that when it is synchro summoned, my opponent cannot activate cards. Also, cards on my opponent's side of the field cannot activate effects. This essentially ends my opponent's entire turn. What makes this even worse is that your opponent can't even activate cards in response to this monster's effects. He is essentially protecting himself from your opponent being able to disrupt them, and then completely ends your opponent's turn on their turn. Now, the terrible thing about this particular situation is that I can leak some sauce for you, and it still might not even matter. If you stop the effect of Formula Synchron with a card like Forbidden Droplet, or you just shotgun Dark Ruler No More, you can potentially win. But you really gotta watch out for certain things. In response to Dark Ruler No More, if I activate Emergency Teleport as Chain Link 2, I can then use Hot Red Dragon Archfiend's effect as Chain Link 3 to negate the Dark Ruler No More, and that's because a monster effect isn't being activated in response to the Dark Ruler No More anymore, it's actually being used in response to the Emergency Teleport. Also, if my opponent doesn't send a spell card with the effect of Forbidden Droplets, I can do the exact same thing. I can activate Emergency Teleport to be able to special summon a monster, and then as Chain Link 3, activate the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss to negate the Forbidden Droplet. So in this particular situation, it is genuinely a game of cat and mouse. Did you open the answer to me skipping your turn, and hope to God that I didn't open a card that can activate around it so I can use Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss to negate it? But I personally don't even think that this is the best way to play Punk. I'm actually going to show you another combo which I think is ridiculously dangerous in this deck. Now, the next combo I'm going to be showing you can be done in so many different ways. The Punk strategy is filled with so many combinations, but in order to get my point across to you, to show you that this is easily a tier 1 meta deck this format, I'm going to have to solidify it in some type of combo. So this is going to be another technical 3-card combo, as the only thing I genuinely need is a card like Emergency Teleport in my hand and Therion's Lily Warrior, as well as any other Therion monster in my hand. I'm going to show you how this combo can develop into so many different avenues and how we're going to be able to make an insane board with it. I'm going to go ahead and start off by activating Emergency Teleport, using its ability to be able to special summon No Punk Xiamen to my side of the field, and then using the effect of Xiamen to be able to add, No Punk Foxy Tune. Now, the reason why the Therion strategy and the Punk strategy work so well is that Therion monsters need to be in the graveyard to be able to summon other Therion monsters, and Punk monsters, for a lot of their effects, just so happen to discard cards from the hand to be able to summon themselves. As you can see, I'm going to use Foxy Tune's effect to be able to special summon a non-level 8 by discarding the Therion's Duke. I'm going to summon No Punk Dianote, but I'm actually not even going to commit into this play right here. I'm going to activate the effect of Lily Borea, equipping Therion's Duke to my side, or equipping my Therion's Duke to my Lily Borea. Blah. Little hard to say that sometimes. And then using my Lily Borea to send my Duke to the graveyard to be able to add Therion's Disc Coliseum. Disc Coliseum is actually one of the most dangerous field spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Not only is it a free search, I'm going to add Therion's King Regulus. It actually protects my monsters from being destroyed by battle, and it allows me to add Therion cards to my hand. I'm going to go ahead and activate Therion's King Regulus by equipping the Duke to it. And then I am going to continue on with my combo, protected from cards like Nibiru the Primal Being, Ash Blossom, and Joyous Spring, and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and synchro summon into my Chaotic Ruler. Now, it really depends on what exactly you hit with Chaotic Ruler. That's going to determine exactly what particular situation you want to go into. At this point in time, you want to get as many light and dark monsters to your graveyard. There are cards like additional Foxy Tunes, Effect Veilers, DD Crows, Dance Ogres that you all can send to the graveyard with Chaotic Ruler, which makes this combo full. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger the effect of Chaotic Ruler as Chainlink 1. And then I'm going to trigger the effect of Dianote as Chainlink 2, and I'm going to special summon my No Punk Foxy Tune to my side of the field, and then excavate 5 cards to potentially add a light and dark monster to my hand. I'm actually not going to add any light or dark monsters to my hand in this particular situation. That Effect Veiler is going to be a really important card to be able to get into my graveyard. And keep in mind, even if I didn't hit any of those light and dark monsters, or the light monster in this particular situation, I still have other cards in my hand. And if I just so happen to have a card like Effect Veiler, I could normal summon it to my side of the field, and it actually will prove so much combo. Going on from here, we're going to go ahead and Lynx or Exceed summon into a monster that a lot of players fear. I'm actually going to go ahead and use my Therion's Lily Borea and my Chaotic Ruler for an Exceed summon into the Zombie Vampire. Now, the Zombie Vampire does have a risk potential in it, because if I go in this particular route without a tuner monster, then I won't be able to go forward. So if you are going into the Undead Vampire in this particular route, make sure you have a card like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Effect Veiler, the plethora of tuners that you do have in your arsenal, or just make sure you hit a tuner off of the top 8 cards that are going to be sent between your deck and your opponent's deck. And with how many hand traps that are being played in Yu-Gi-Oh!, odds are pretty high. There's also another hidden ability with the Undead Vampire that doesn't get talked about a lot, is actually being able to see the information that your opponent has. Let's say, for example, if my opponent is playing a deck that does not use the extra deck, and I just so happen to be playing the Artifact Scythe Lock, well, I actually get that information on my first turn by sending cards from their deck to the graveyard. That way I can either set up my Scythe Lock if my opponent is weak to it, or not set up my Scythe Lock, which does give me a little bit of wiggle room to be able to create the board that's going to be best going against my opponent. I'm going to go ahead and use the effect of the Undead Vampire, detaching the Chaotic Ruler to be able to send 4, and I just so happen to send the best tuner in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Ghost Sister in Spooky Dogwood. We'll go ahead and Link Crow summon with both Christian Hockley Fibrix and our Undead Vampire, or I'm sorry, our Undead Vampire and Ghost Sister, using its effect to be able to special summon Jet Synchron to our side of the field. This effect to special summon itself from the graveyard won't necessarily be needed, but we will be using the effect of Chaotic Ruler to be able to banish a light and a dark monster to summon himself to the side of the field. I'll finish up by synchro summoning into my Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and this may not look like much, but it's actually a lot. I have a disruption with Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss and Therion King Regulus, but it does get a little bit worse. On my opponent's main phase, I'll be able to use the effect of Christian Hockley Fibrix banishing itself to be able to special summon the Formula Synchron, allowing me to draw a Yu-Gi-Oh card, And then I'll chain the effect of Formula Synchron to be able to synchro summon. This will allow me to make everybody's favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card, Baron de Fleur. Now, I also could have used the effect to be able to make the amazing Punk Monster, which will bounce multiple cards on my opponent's side of the field, or Psychic In Punisher, a card that just keeps getting bigger depending on the differential between me and my opponent's life points. The Punk strategy is filled with so many combos, so many different variants. It reminds me of Chaos Lightsworn back in the past. I genuinely think that the Punk strategy is hands down one of the best strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! And of course, if you want to see a deck profile on this, I have already put one up on Patreon for my Patreon supporters, and we're looking into a potential live duel with this deck going against a top rogue deck. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know down below in the comment section, what is your favorite part? What is your favorite version of the Punk strategy? Also, if you want to see more amazing content, go ahead and check out these videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.